Overpromised with Covino and Rich, presented by DraftKings Fantasy Sports. Check out what DraftKings has to offer this season with code Overpromised, because life's more fun when you're in on the action. DraftKings, the crown is yours.
Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Age and eligibility restrictions apply. Void where prohibited. See DraftKings.com for details.
Man, there's some nervous energy in this room.
Who's ready for some football?
I am more nervous as the days get closer to this Niners-Lions game. It's giving me anxiety. I got like a stomachache.
Yeah, nervous gut, huh?
Oh, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. 3 days.
I smell something. Welcome to Overpromised. Brought to you by DraftKings Sportsbook, our bonus podcast, Covino and Rich. So ready for the weekend. Thank you guys for hanging out with us. Hope it's been a great week for you. We have lots to get to today. Going back to college at 30 years old, would you do it? Would that be awesome or weird? We got some stories to tell.
Back to school Rodney Dangerfield style?
Thornton Melon style. And speaking of melons, Rich has his picks.
I got a parlay and a teaser that are sure to maybe win me money.
Yes.
I have one of these, like, how can it go wrong again in game, same game parlay? So,
well, speaking of the games this weekend, as you know, the Chiefs are taking on the Ravens, one of the best matchups. I mean, all the games, both games are great. But speaking of the Chiefs, two of their biggest stars, Patrick Mahomes. Hey, Patrick Mahomes here. I'm here. And Travis Kelce are part of a new campaign for Subway.
Oh, when you said two of the biggest stars, I thought you meant Jason Kelce and Taylor Swift.
Oh, no,
Are they not the biggest stars for the Chiefs?
I'm including Patrick Mahomes into this conversation because they got what they wanted. We're going to give the Ravens what they wanted. Again, they're part of a new campaign for Subway, and it got me thinking.
Nothing better than a Subway Series footlong, except when you add a new footlong sidekick, like the boss with a new footlong cookie. This might be my favorite sidekick ever. What?
Every epic footlong deserves a perfect sidekick.
So you get his sidekick.
Now, as we throw it back on a Thursday, when you think of Subway footlongs, you're not even thinking of the cookie. By the way, that cookie, I think I might have to get one of those. I love me a Subway cookie. You're giving me a footlong cookie?
Just before you tell me how you and your girlfriend are going to the beach next week in Mexico. You need a footlong cookie?
Maybe when
Maybe when you get back.
But I love that soggy Subway cookie. I can't resist them, right? They used to be $3 for $1.
I remember that.
Now, it's $5 for a footlong cookie. You remember the old jingle, $5 footlong. Yo, it hasn't been a $5 footlong in forever.
Yeah, that shit's like $13.
$13.29. I looked it up. But Spot said you can get a cold cut combo footlong for $8.99.
You mean like the weakest?
Yeah.
Cold cut combo?
Yeah. So the days
guys, if you want bologna and a bunch of fixins, $8.99.
It got us thinking how much time's flying, how things are changing. Obviously, people are always complaining about how expensive everything is, but the $5 footlong, I don't know if they still run that promotion anymore, but if they do, it's for like a day. But we used to love the $5 footlong. Now it's the $10, $13, $14 footlong. When you throw it back on a Thursday, you're like, what happened?
$5 footlong was a thing. In fact, people, as you said, love to bitch and complain about inflation and shit's so expensive now. And it is.
No, it's not just inflation. It's inflation and shrinkflation. Your portions are getting smaller. You've been at Chipotle. They give you a burrito. It's smaller now and more expensive. So I have a formula. Shrinkflation plus inflation equals constipation. Makes me angry.
I would work on that more. Okay. But I will say, though, that...
Frustration?
Yeah,
there you go.
When you look back on a Throwback Thursday Overpromised, it's not just Subway. The other day, I'm coming home from work, and my wife's like, you know what I'm craving? I'm like, what? She goes, can you pick me up French fries at McDonald's? And I feel like that shit used to be on the dollar menu. Do you remember when McDonald's had a dollar menu? Do you know how much French fries are now? If you get a large fry.
Yeah, how much?
Large fry pie, large coffee. Over $5.
Get out of here. For one fry?
Large fry, over $5.
And it's a scam anyway. I think the same amount of fries are in all the packs.
Large fry, over $5. I remember when the number 2, as you always say, which is better than the number 1 sometimes. But I used to get that number 2 combo. It was 2 cheeseburgers. I love a good
number 2.
It was 2 cheeseburgers, fries, and a drink for $2.99. There it is, Spot. You could also get the Big Mac or the Quarter Pounder. All the value meals when we were kids or teenagers were $2.99.
I want you to throw it back on this Thursday or whenever you're watching Overpromised, our bonus podcast here. I want you to think back to the prices you remember. That dollar menu, that was famous. You know how much a Big Mac meal in LA costs right now?
How much?
$11. That's not cheap.
That's not a fast food deal. I told you, I love Chipotle, right? It's like my favorite go-to cleaner fast food.
Burrito bowl, $40.
My wife and I get 2 burrito bowls.
It's like airport prices.
2 burrito bowls with guac and a side of guac and chips is like $35, $36. I'm like, we might as well go out to a restaurant.
So what else comes to mind for you? Now, Rich and I are here in Los Angeles. And
yeah, that's not a thing anymore.
No.
Dollar menu?
Kidding me? What comes to mind for you, by the way? Let us know. But growing up and working in New York City, we'd party at night, and it would always be the dollar slice. Right? Dollar slice of pizza.
They may exist in one little nook or cranny of New York City here or there, but I'd imagine that is not your best ingredients because you go to a pretty legit pizzeria now, it's like $4, $3.50 for a slice of regular.
It's ridiculous. You can't get anything for $1 except for an Arizona iced tea. It's like the meme goes. Whoever's in charge of pricing for Arizona iced tea should be in charge of inflation here in this country because that has remained, I think, $1. And, dude, speaking of New York, growing up in New Jersey, I'm from Union, New Jersey. I would take the Lincoln Tunnel to New York City.
Like Elf in the movie Elf?
Yes, exactly like that.
Lincoln Tunnel.
To get into Manhattan. My first memory of going there was $4 to go into the Lincoln Tunnel from Jersey to New York.
If you didn't have Easy Pass, I remember thinking you need $4.
I know it's not food, but I had to share this with you just to prove the point. It was $4 in my day. $17.63. What an arbitrary price. $17 to go through the Lincoln Tunnel. Can you imagine that?
God.
So again, this whole Travis Kelce campaign got us thinking about the $5 footlong. Yeah. Good luck with that.
It's not the only thing that's changed. And, not to sound like the old guys, but back in our day, there was a lot of shit that was a lot cheaper, and it doesn't seem like we're making more money
not at all.
To compensate for these prices. Spot, you're a big Starbucks guy, as am I. I mean, believe it or not, I'm not shocked. Starbucks hasn't gone up that much. Like, I get a cold brew, I'm cool with it being $4 or $5, but it used to be like $3 or $4, which isn't really that different. Like, if you look at the old school Starbucks menu, it's not that bad. Starbucks has somehow found a way to not. Based on the other things, Starbucks should be like $10.
Yeah, no, for sure.
Right?
For sure. But it's getting ridiculous, and it just got us reminiscing. So what is it now? Inflation plus shrinkflation equals frustration. So it is. Yeah, it's so frustrating. And good luck with your $13 Subway footlong. Oh. But definitely invest in that cookie, man. That seems like a good $5 investment.
Let me throw one more at you. The other night, let's just say... popped a little edible. And I asked my wife, I go, before you sit down and join me, can you go to Taco Bell? She's like, okay, babe. She said Taco Bell. Do you remember Taco Bell used to be like, tacos were like under $1. Everything was,
I read an article recently, believe it or not. I do read once in a while. I believe their prices went up 14% in the past year plus. But the highest average price of fast food is Wendy's.
Wow.
Yeah, Wendy's is the most expensive.
I'll swear by my favorite fast food item is the Gordita Crunch at Taco Bell. I told my wife, can you give me a couple of those and a chalupa and just she said, your Taco Bell was $17 for 4 items. I'm like, are you serious? So
not cheap anymore,
the shit's
man.
not cheap anymore. So inflation plus shrinkflation equals frustration.
Constipation.
All right. Well, hey, enough of sounding like bitching, complaining guys. Let's get into our picks for the weekend.
Let's go.
On the last Overpromised on Tuesday, I gave you some picks for the Ravens, Chiefs. Now I'm going to lean my attention towards the 49ers, Lions. Now, I'm going to call this what should I call this? My homer. How could this possibly go wrong pick? I'll think of a good name for it. The Niners are favored by 7.5.
I feel like the names for your picks have also inflated.
They have.
They're getting longer all the time.
Niners are now 7.5 point favorites. I'm pulling that down in a teaser to Niners by 1.5. So Niners minus 1.5.
Okay.
And I'm going over 45.5 because the point spread is 51.5. I'm going 45, and I'll tell you why. The Lions secondary is one of their weaknesses.
I know why, because you want to win. You want to buy a burrito bowl.
I know. You
want to be able to afford a Subway sandwich.
I know. I want that cookie. The Lions secondary is one of their suspect spots, and the Niners could exploit that. And the Niners, have scored over 20 in every game this year except for their few losses, right? So the 49ers putting up points. The Lions have only held one team under 20 points since Halloween. So the Lions give up points, they score. So if the Lions are scoring and they're giving up points, I love the over 45.5 in a teaser. So over 45.5, that means like 27-21 wins. And I think it'll even be higher scoring than that. So I like the over and the Niners minus 1.5. And Spot, throw it up there. What am I calling this? We'll call this the My Homer If They Lose, I'll call in sick Monday teaser. Is that good? My
Yes.
Homer If They Lose, I'll cry and call in sick Monday teaser.
Yes, because you'll be so embarrassed
But I like that one, though.
if it doesn't go through.
Minus 1.5, over
like
45.5.
What else you got?
I got a same game parlay, and I got 5 things going.
Okay.
And these 5 things add up to plus 750, which you gotta love, meaning wager 100, you're winning 750. 49ers money line.
Okay.
So you just need the 49ers to win.
All right. And we know Rich is hoping for that. And it's likely.
49ers to score first. I feel like they defer, but even if they get the ball, I feel like they're putting points on the board. I like that.
What's your prediction, by the way? Like Pacheco runs one in? I mean, McCaffrey runs one in?
It's funny you should say that because I'll tell you in a second. I got Kittle over 61.5 yards because I'm telling you, the secondary of the Lions is their weakness. I got Ayuk making up for maybe Debo not getting the carries or touches or anything. So I got Debo over 82.5. And I got, the safest one of all, I think, anytime Christian McCaffrey touchdown.
There it is. All right.
So Niners need to win. They just need to score first. Kittle and Ayuk having pretty decent games, and McCaffrey with a tutty. That's 100, pays 750.
Man, that's not bad, dude. I don't normally vibe with those because there's so many things that need to happen, but
I think
it's not bad.
The only tricky part of that is what if the Lions get the ball first and, move the ball, get a field goal, then the bet's dead. But other than that, I love the money line part of it. I like the props on Kittle and Ayuk going over because the Detroit Lions give up a lot of yards in the passing game. So how can you not see Kittle and Ayuk going off, especially if even if Debo plays, Debo's not going to be your number one target with a banged up shoulder. So I like that bet a lot.
You're making me nervous about these games now. I just want to be excited about these games.
But now you're nervous, I know.
I am.
All right, so there you go. That's your parlay and your teaser courtesy of DraftKings. Take a look. There it is. My Homer, if they lose, I'll cry and call in sick Monday teaser. And the how could this possibly not happen same game parlay.
All right, well, make it happen. DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NFL playoffs, bringing you an offer that'll help make the playoffs electrifying. New customers can bet $5 on any game and get $200 instantly in bonus bets.
All you have to do, download the DraftKings Sportsbook app now. Use code OVERPROMISED, and new customers can bet $5. You get $200 instantly in bonus bets. Only on DraftKings Sportsbook with our code OVERPROMISED. The crown is yours.
Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit 1-800-GAMBLER.net. In New York, call 877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY 467-369. In Connecticut, help is available for problem gambling. Call 888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org. Please play responsibly. On behalf of Boot Hill Casino and Resort in Kansas. 21 plus, age varies by jurisdiction, void in Ontario. Bonus bets expire 168 hours after issuance. See dkng.com/football for eligibility and deposit restrictions, terms, and responsible gaming resources.
Yo, would it be the biggest bitch move ever if I did call in sick after a 49ers loss? Like, guys, I can't come in today.
Don't be a Fox Sports baby.
I won't be a
Fox Sports babies. Don't be one of those. No. Enjoy the games, and I don't know, I like them, Rich. Welcome back to Overpromised, our bonus podcast, Covino and Rich. You can hear us Monday through Friday, Fox Sports Radio, 5 to 7 on the East Coast.
Fox Sports, baby.
2 to 4 on the West Side. We're live from LA. And by the way, if you like our show, make sure you follow our podcast for free, Covino and Rich, wherever you stream. And if you leave a review, you qualify for our new giveaways. We have these stainless steel water bottles, calling them Swiggies. They got the swaggy. Definitely leave a review and listen out because we're always playing games, giving away prizes. And thank you for checking us out. Send the link to all your friends. Okay?
Spot, do you have a picture of the Swiggy?
Oh, super dope.
Spot has a picture of the Swiggy in lava.
Oh yeah, I love it. It's a great giveaway.
I want our Swiggy in lava.
Show us our new water bottle giveaway and definitely join the fun. Covino and Rich, and at Covino and Rich on social media if you want to chime in. Now, while Spot pulls up that picture, I wish you a great weekend. Enjoy the games.
If the Niners win, we talked about it on the Fox Sports Show, but I'm taking it personally. If you tell me you're rooting against me, I'm taking it personally because
know that.
I know it's all. I
don't root against this guy's happiness. It's insulting.
It's insulting.
All right. Now, do you know who Eric Goins is?
Look at that.
Look at that bottle. Oh my God, that's not just any bottle. Stainless steel water bottle.
I heard that if you have that water bottle. Yeah. You know how much ass you pull?
Oh, so much ass. You know how people
you bring that to the gym, women at the gym will be like, oh my God, who are you?
Oh, yeah, it's a guarantee.
It's a guarantee.
Yeah. And the Stanley, that's over.
Oh.
It's all about the swiggy. So, Eric Goins. Okay, let me tell you something about Eric Goins. He's 30 years old. 30 years old, by the way, means, this is sad, he was born in 94.
Oh, my God.
Okay. Means he graduated high school in 2012.
What?
Yeah. Eric Goins played college football for the Citadel in 2015, then went to the Army for 7 years. Okay, so you doing the math?
Thank you.
Eric Goins.
Thank you for your service.
Thank you for your service, man. He's now 30 years old, and he's Notre Dame's kicker. 30-year-old Army vet is now in college.
We've been to South Bend. We've been to the campus. If you're a 30-year-old guy on a college campus?
Oh, yeah. Are you the king of the campus? Or are you the old guy at the club?
Ooh.
That's the question.
If I were him, I would tell everyone I was in my late 20s.
Oh, yeah. I mean, you could pull that off.
You could lie.
If you aged relatively normal and you're 30, he's only 30, right? You're a young man in life. You could pull off 20-something, right? There's some 20-year-old dudes. There's some high school kids that look old as hell. So Eric Goins went back to school, Rodney Dangerfield style. Like Rich said, oh, back to school, back to school.
To prove to Dad you're not a fool. I know.
After 7 years in the Army, and again, kicking at the age of 30. He's kicking it. So the question we pose to you, Overpromised Fox Sports Radio Nation, is, would you, if you could have, you could do it all over again, would you go back to school at 30? Because there's pros and cons, and we know from experience, dude.
Well, listen, I'm looking at this whole thing of, you're only looking from a standpoint of hooking up. Because no one wants to go back to college and be hanging around a campus when they're 30.
You say hooking up, I'm thinking like...
What can you be thinking other than hooking up? Oh, the experience? Get
really
the hell
cashing in on the experience the way you should have.
This is about the booty. Let me tell you, when we were in our 20s,
yes,
Covino and I were, I think I was 24 or 25.
I was 27, 28.
We hosted spring break events in Acapulco, in Panama City. We were doing spring break events.
Now, keep in mind, these are young college women. We're young men, but we're already working professionally, making money. Dude, we had a career.
We were broadcasting poolside. We had full-time jobs. We were making money.
Look at that.
And hosting Maxim spring break events.
With MTV and everything else.
When you're a guy that's 20-something with a microphone and some type of like, you're like...
And oceans of options? Oceans of fun, I should say.
I think if you're a college athlete and you go back to college and you are more mature, I think the women are going to be lining up for this guy. But I think the fact that he's 30, he's got to say he's 28. Tell everyone you're 28. The 30 would take a college girl back. You're 30?
I'm glad you said that. All this math matters, guys, okay?
It's a 3.
30 years old, young man in life, right? You still got so much going on. He's playing college football. From our experience, what a bonus it was for us to go back and relive those years with some money in our pockets. That was the biggest difference.
Yeah.
We were somewhat established and we had some flow. So it put us in a different situation to have that fun that we didn't have when we were going to spring break, when we were in college, right? Here's the difference. 30, I have to say no. The fact that we were in our 20s, because you could attribute any stupid thing you did ever in your life. It's a rule, in fact, to your 20s. If you did some stupid stuff that you're embarrassed by,
yeah, we're not talking about crime. We're talking about if you did some dumb thing like, I got drunk and lit my shoe on fire. I was 23.
I was in my 20s. You could chalk all that stuff up to, hey, I was in my 20s. when you and I were there, we were in our 20s. When you start hitting 30, and again, this is coming from a dad perspective too, right? As my daughter gets older and she's entering her college years, she's not yet, but I'm saying when she does, you think I want her with a 30-year-old dude? So that's where I'm like, you know what? That's when it starts getting too old and too much. Do you think 30 is out of the game, or this is the perfect time to be in there?
It's not out of the game in the dating world. In fact, you're right in your prime years. Like an athlete would be in their prime 28 to 32. Dating-wise, 30-year-old guy, you're in your prime. But with college girls that are 18 to 21, 22, you are the old guy at 30. This guy should lie and say he's 28. But it is wild to think. Imagine going back to your college campus in your mid-20s or close to 30. What a perspective you have. You'd have money. You have
life. You have life and life perspective and wisdom that these other people just don't have yet.
You're more mature and you're smart. And I don't know. I just think it's a very interesting scenario. Imagine being a 30-year-old guy. I think it's too old.
And you know what else he has
26
too, though?
Is the,
It's different because these football players at Notre Dame, they're beasts. But there's a difference between boy strength and man strength. There just is.
Yeah.
Again, these are exceptional athletes at Notre Dame already. But I think he probably has some advantage as far as, you don't think so?
He's a kicker and he's 30. These guys.
But you're going to tell me you didn't get stronger as you became more of a man?
But these guys playing college football.
I'm saying in general. They are exceptions. I already made that point.
But he's playing college football at Notre Dame. There's no advantage of him being 30 when you're talking about guys that are NFL ready. Come on. I just think, again, it has nothing to do with sports. It has all to do with the dating scene. And I think
having money,
smarter,
money and wisdom,
wiser, and hey, good for him. Enjoy. We wish you well, and thanks for your service. He's done it all, right?
Eric Goins again, Notre Dame, 30 years old, giving hope and promise to everybody out there. So,
well, hey, if you missed anything, we got this Overpromised on Tuesday, and of course our daily Fox Sports Radio show. Download the pod, and you could win one of those swiggies, which are pretty sweet. Enjoy your weekend football. Till next time. Arrivederci, baby.
See you in the Overpromised land.
Look at that lava by the swiggy. Pretty sweet.